Upward Bound Mateo coming from his bedroom. Today's activity and thought that will permeate your life is, how do we get what we want from this life that we're living? Huge question. It starts somewhere, and it starts right now. Imagine ignoring the voice that is in everyone's head that tells us you can't do this. And today we're going to talk about restructuring that and creating a new belief that you can get what you want in this life if you're willing to work for it. And I'm talking work for it. And if you're prepared to learn what's required to get what you want. Now that's a process. You've got to learn what's required to get what you want. So we're going to talk about 4 strategies you can use to start this process. Now, the first one is reading. Now, imagine an author has compiled years worth of experience and ideas into a book that you can read in weeks, compressing all that time that it took them to write that into weeks. That's called fast tracking. You can learn what maybe took them an entire life to complete in a month. This will help generate new feelings and new ideas and new thoughts. And new input means growth. And growth is an ingredient on this path of getting what you want. So my tip as an Upward Bound counselor is to choose a book that relates to a career interest. Just go Google a New York Times best-selling list and choose a book and start this number 1 strategy. New ideas will be generated, I guarantee it. Second is writing. Now, writing does sharpen your critical thinking skills. You got to imagine this, right? We all have thoughts and ideas scattered in our heads, and writing helps to articulate them carefully. It helps you to become more clear with what you want to do next, right? It helps to stabilize emotions. Have you ever written in a journal where you're feeling a certain way, you write it down on paper, and then you're like, oh, that's not that big of a deal now. This is the same thing, right? This strategy helps to create a course of action with all of those thoughts and ideas that you have. And clarity helps you to answer questions like, what do you want to learn when you go to college? And why? What's your purpose? These are huge questions that you'll ask yourself your whole life. And writing helps to put these things into perspective. And it helps you see how little you know, and then creates a path of getting you to the place of knowing. So that's writing. That's the second one. Creative. Get creative. Third one, I love this one, right? This opens you to a flow state. Have you heard of that? A flow state. It's like being on fire when you're just making every shot you're shooting. It's those aha moments. So drawing, painting, playing music, writing poetry, dancing, building, crafting, playing, sports, all of these things. The more time you spend in spaces like this, the more possibilities can be imagined. And when those possibilities are imagined and you start to write, you start to realize what it is you need to do next. Oh man, this one's a good one. So get creative. That's important. And the fourth one is exercise and movement. Now, exercise and movement gets you out of your head and into your body. And your body has lots of information to share with you when you're trying to figure out what it is you want to do, what you want out of this life. Now, one thing that it does scientifically in our brains is it helps to create new neural pathways so that you can think in different ways. Amazing, right? So all of this movement and physical exercise creates fuel for our bodies and our minds and our hearts. And that information comes flying in when you're trying to figure out what it is that you want in this life. Now, this is a lifelong journey. Don't let me kid you, right? You don't just do this once. This is a lifestyle. So if you truly want something, you've got to do something about it. And this is the beginning, right? So use these strategies. Use us as Upward Bound mentors and counselors to help you along that path. And I just welcome this journey for the rest of your life. This might be the start or a continuation of what you're already doing. So good luck. I'm excited. Share below maybe what you've discovered or what works really well for you. Good luck.